Let me ask you something. When was the last time you did something bold? Not something safe, not something expected, but something that made your heart race. Something that said, I'm here and I refuse to play small. Because here's the truth. Life doesn't reward the hesitant. It doesn't hand trophies to the timid. It doesn't crown the comfortable. No, life rewards the bold. The ones who step forward when others shrink back. The ones who speak up when silence feels safer. The ones who move, even when they're not sure how it will turn out. See, we've been trained to wait. Wait for permission. Wait for the perfect time. Wait until we feel ready. But bold people don't wait. They initiate. They ask. They try. They begin. And because they begin, they win. So if you've been sitting on an idea, waiting to chase the dream, hoping life will one day open the door, this is your moment. Boldness is the key. And the good news, you don't need to be fearless. You just need to be willing. You don't have to be perfect. Just present. Because life isn't looking for perfect. It's looking for bold. Stay with me. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why the bold rise, the bold grow, and the bold live with fewer regrets. And by the end, you won't just understand the power of boldness. You'll feel it in your bones. Let's begin. Boldness is a decision, not a trait. Now let me share something with you, right up front. Boldness is not a trait. It's not in your genetics. It's not written into your personality profile. And it's certainly not something reserved for the lucky few. No, boldness is a decision, a choice, plain and simple. You don't have to feel bold to act bold, you just have to decide. I've met folks from every background you can imagine, shy folks, quiet folks, cautious folks, and yet somewhere along the way, some of them became bold. Why? Because they decided to. They reached a point where they said, that's enough hesitation, that's enough waiting, and they stepped forward. Not because they felt fearless, not because they were certain, but because they were done being held back by fear. Now you might be thinking, Jim, I'm not a bold person. That's just not who I am. And I'd say, it doesn't matter who you've been. What matters is what you decide. See, life doesn't require you to be loud. It doesn't require you to be flashy. It only requires that you show up with courage. And boldness is courage in motion. Let me give you the picture. Every day you stand at a fork in the road. One path is safe, familiar. The other, risky, uncertain. And yet, it leads to growth, to new chapters, new rewards, new strength. Boldness always chooses the path of growth. It doesn't wait for the road to be smooth. It walks even when the path is uphill. Now here's the key. Boldness is not loud. It's clear. It's the voice that says, I may not know everything, but I know I won't stay here. It's the step that says, I may be afraid, but I'll take the next step anyway. That's boldness. And it begins the moment you decide. Not tomorrow. Today. I used to think confidence came first, that you had to feel brave before you could act. But that's not how it works. Confidence is not the fuel. It's the reward. You act, and then confidence shows up. You speak, and then your voice grows stronger. You try, and then belief begins to build. So don't wait for confidence. Don't wait for certainty. Just make the move, and let the boldness catch up. Now boldness, like anything else, can be built. It's like a muscle. You exercise it daily, and it grows. Start small. Speak up in the meeting. Share your idea. Make the phone call. Apply for the thing you're not quite ready for. Say what needs to be said. Every time you act boldly, you strengthen that muscle. Every time you move forward, you build courage. And the more you do, the easier it becomes. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. I've met people who waited 10 years, waited for clarity, waited for the right time, waited to feel ready. And here's what I tell them. Don't wait, you are the right person. Now is the right time. And boldness is the right move. Because life does not reward the timid. It rewards the person who decides to go first. The one who knocks. The one who steps forward. The one who starts, even when they're scared. So let me leave you with this. If you want to live a bold life, if you want the rewards that come with courage and action, and growth, you must decide. Not wish, not hope, not plan endlessly. Just decide. Say it with me, right now. Today, I choose boldness. And from this moment forward, let that decision guide your steps. Because when you decide to be bold, life decides to open doors. Let's move on. Fear is the signal, not the stop sign. Now let's talk about something we all face. Something that stops more people than failure ever could. Fear, but let me give you a new way to see it. Fear is not the stop sign. It's not the signal to quit. It's not the red light at the end of your potential. Fear is the signal that you're getting close, The signal that you're entering new territory. The signal that you're entering new territory. The signal that something matters. Let me tell you what fear really is. Fear is energy, and that energy can either fuel you or freeze you. But here's the key. Fear only has power when you misunderstand it. Most people think fear means stop, turn back, run away. But what if fear simply meant you're heading in the right direction? You're growing. You're stepping into something bigger than before, because that's what it often means. Fear is a sign that you're not standing still anymore. Now some people say, but Jim, what if I fail? And I say, so what? Failure is not the worst thing that can happen. Staying the same. Now that's the real tragedy. Not growing, not trying, not discovering what you're capable of. Don't let fear talk you out of your future. Don't let it convince you that safety is more valuable than progress. Because it isn't. You weren't designed to live in fear. You were designed to overcome it. Fear is not the enemy. In fact, I'd say fear is your ally. Fear shows you what matters. It points you toward your highest goals. It points to the conversation you need to have, the action you need to take, the risk you need to consider. It points to the next level of your life. And most importantly, fear is where your growth lives. No fear, no stretch, no stretch, no progress, no progress, no reward. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you did something that scared you a little? Not terrified you, just stretched you, made your heart beat a little faster. That's the place where boldness lives. That's the place where your breakthrough waits. And you'll never find it if you keep avoiding fear. So stop avoiding it. Walk toward it, sit with it, then move through it, because on the other side of fear is always freedom. Now listen, courage doesn't mean you don't feel fear. No, courage means you do it anyway, even with shaky hands, even with doubts in your mind, even when you're unsure of the outcome. Courage is not about eliminating fear. It's about choosing to move while fear is still present. That's the secret. Bold people feel fear too, but they've made a decision that says, I won't let fear make my decisions for me. Let me give you a rule. When fear shows up, look closer. What's it protecting? What's it trying to preserve? Usually, it's trying to protect your ego, your comfort, your image. But those things won't get you where you want to go. Fear will try to keep you safe, but safe doesn't build dreams. So use it. Let it be the signal that it's time to grow, time to risk, time to take that next step. Here's the question to ask yourself. Is this fear protecting me, or is it preventing me? If it's protecting you from danger, good, but if it's only protecting you from discomfort, it's time to push through. Because fear wants to keep you small, but your purpose wants to pull you forward, and only one of them gets to win. So let's decide. Right now, fear is no longer your stop sign. It's your starting point. It's not a reason to hold back. It's your invitation to move. You may not be fearless, but you can be faithful. Faithful to your potential. Faithful to your future. Faithful to the decision you made in chapter 1, to be bold. Let fear show up. Let it speak. But don't let it vote. You cast the final vote. You take the step. Because on the other side of fear is everything you've been hoping for. Let's keep going. You must risk the criticism to earn the praise. Now let's get to something that holds more people back than fear. Criticism. The fear of being judged. The fear of being laughed at. The fear of what they might say. But here's the truth. You'll never earn real praise if you're not willing to face real criticism. See, everybody wants applause, but nobody wants the risk that comes before the applause. Everybody wants approval, but they forget. Approval has a price, and that price is exposure. That price is effort. That price is courage. That price is showing up, even when someone might not clap. Let me tell you something straight. If you try to avoid criticism your whole life, you will also avoid growth. And here's what's worse. You'll avoid impact. You'll avoid excellence. You'll avoid the kind of success that matters. Why? Because everything meaningful requires someone brave enough to say, go ahead, criticize me if you must. But I will not shrink just to make you comfortable. Now here's a key idea. Only people doing nothing avoid criticism. But the moment you try, the moment you start, the moment you stand up instead of sit down, you invite opinions. And most of those opinions come from the sidelines. From the ones who never tried. From the ones who never built anything. From the ones who live small and want you to stay small too. Don't let them win. If someone says, but what will they think of me? I say, who are they? And what have they built? What are they risking? See, critics are cheap, but action is expensive. Boldness is costly, and that's why so few choose it. But the few who do, the few who step into the spotlight anyway, The few who speak up. The few who create, build, share, and lead. They're the ones who earn the praise. Let me tell you something important. You don't get to have both. You don't get to stay invisible and be recognized. You don't get to please everyone and live your highest purpose. You don't get to keep everyone happy and make a real difference. At some point, you have to make a choice. Comfort or contribution. And that choice will define your life. Now listen, I'm not saying criticism is easy to deal with. It stings. It hurts. It can knock the wind out of you. But here's the difference. The bold person keeps walking. They don't let an insult turn into an identity. They don't hand over their vision just because someone rolled their eyes. They understand that success doesn't come with silence. It comes with resistance. So expect it, anticipate it, and decide right now you're willing to carry it. Because the price of progress is resistance, but the reward is respect. Here's what I've learned. Most people admire boldness after the fact. But at first, they question it. They mock it. They misunderstand it. And if you're not careful, you'll water yourself down just to be accepted by people who don't even have the life you want. Don't do that. Speak anyway. Act anyway. Lead anyway. The world may not clap right away, but if you stay bold, stay true, stay committed, the same people who once criticized you will one day admire you. So let me ask you, are you willing to be misunderstood now, so you can be respected later? Are you willing to be judged, so you can grow? Are you willing to be seen, so you can lead? If the answer is yes, then you, my friend, are walking the bold path. And that's the path that leads to legacy. Final thought. Praise is never free. It's earned through action. It's earned through rejection. It's earned through staying bold, even when it's uncomfortable. So go ahead, risk the criticism, because what's waiting on the other side is the reward of a life well lived. Let's move forward. Fortune favors the initiator. Let's talk about the person who makes the first move. The one who doesn't wait, but acts. The one who doesn't just watch, but steps in. The one who doesn't stand by, but starts. That's the initiator. And here's the principle. Fortune favors the initiator. Not the thinker, not the dreamer, not the one with perfect plans and no execution. No, it favors the one who begins. You don't get rewarded for intention. You get rewarded for action. You don't get paid for ideas. You get paid for what you do with them. You don't get stronger by reading about the gym. You get stronger by showing up and doing the work. Initiators know this. That's why they don't wait to be told. They don't wait to be invited. They create the opportunity. Now I know what some people are thinking. Jim, I'm waiting for the right time. But let me tell you something. The right time is a myth. You wait long enough and you'll miss the moment entirely. Because time doesn't stop for hesitation. Opportunity doesn't wait for perfection. It moves. And the ones who move with it, they win. The initiator doesn't say one day. They say, let's go. They say, let's try. They say, I'll take the first step. Now you might ask, but what if I get it wrong? What if you do? You'll learn. You'll adjust. You'll grow. But at least you'll be in motion. And motion creates momentum. And momentum attracts opportunity. People follow movers. They follow initiators. Because leadership isn't about waiting. It's about starting. Let me give you something to write down. The person who starts the conversation controls the conversation. In business, in relationships, in life, the one who initiates the handshake, the idea, the deal, sets the tone. Now that doesn't mean you have to dominate. It means you have to engage. The world respects people who act. It notices the ones who raise their hand first. It opens doors to the ones who knock. And don't misunderstand me. Initiators don't always know the outcome. They're not always confident. They're not always prepared. But they act anyway. They start before they feel ready. They learn as they go. They grow through motion. And because they move first, they often get the reward first. The meeting, the mentor, the market, the moment, all go to the person bold enough to begin. Here's something else. Most people miss their opportunity because they're waiting to be picked for the job, picked for the team, picked for success. But initiators don't wait to be picked. They pick themselves. They start the project. They launch the idea. They take the risk. They plant the seed. And while everyone else is waiting for green lights, they become the green light. You don't need anyone's permission to take action. You don't need approval to begin. You don't need applause to move. You just need one thing. The decision to start. That's what separates the achievers from the dreamers, the builders from the talkers, the successful from the stuck. It's not brilliance. It's not talent. It's initiation. So let me ask you, what have you been waiting to start? What have you been putting off, holding back, overthinking? Don't wait for someone else to give you the go-ahead. You give it to yourself. Start, begin, act. Because fortune doesn't follow the passive. It follows the proactive, and the ones who move. They meet opportunity halfway. Final thought. Life opens up for those who open the door. So don't wait at the door, hoping it swings wide on its own. Knock, push, step in. Because fortune always favors the initiator. Let's keep going. Comfort zones are expensive. Let me give you a truth that changed my life. Comfort zones don't keep you safe. They keep you small. Now they feel safe. They look safe. They even sound responsible. But I'm telling you, comfort zones are expensive. Not in dollars, but in potential. In growth. In dreams left on the shelf. In skills that never developed. In relationships never formed. In the life you could have had, but didn't. All because it felt more comfortable to stay the same. See, here's what happens. You find a rhythm that works. You find a routine that feels good. You settle into a place where nothing challenges you. And nothing stretches you either. And at first it feels smart. It feels stable. But over time, it starts to shrink your world. Because comfort zones shrink possibility, shrink ambition, shrink the soul. I'll tell you what a comfort zone really is. It's a prison disguised as peace. It doesn't have bars, but it has limits. It doesn't lock the doors, but it locks your potential. And the longer you stay inside it, the higher the price you pay. So what's the cost? The cost is growth, lost. The cost is opportunity, missed. The cost is time wasted. And you can't buy that back. Every year you stay comfortable is a year you could have become extraordinary. Now don't misunderstand me. There's nothing wrong with rest. We all need rest. We all need recovery. But I'm not talking about rest. I'm talking about retreat. Living in a comfort zone isn't rest. It's retreat from responsibility, retreat from risk, retreat from reward. It's trading progress for predictability. And success never comes to the person who retreats. It comes to the one who advances. Even if the path is uncertain, even if the steps are scary. Now here's the good news. You don't have to leave the comfort zone all at once. You don't need to leap out of it, but you do need to stretch. Growth lives just outside your comfort zone. Not 10 miles away, not on another planet. Just outside, just past the familiar, just beyond your routine. That's where the magic is. You want a better life? Stretch a little further. Try something new. Meet someone new. Learn something new. Say yes to what scares you. Just a little, because every time you stretch, your comfort zone expands. And when it expands, so does your life. New opportunities, new skills, new confidence. They all live on the other side of comfort. I once heard someone say growth and comfort do not coexist. And I believe that, because growth requires discomfort. It requires effort. It requires courage. But that's the price you pay for progress. And in the long run, it's cheaper than staying stuck. So here's what I want you to remember. Comfort zones cost you. They cost you the bold life, the strong life, the life full of meaning, momentum, and mastery. So if you're paying the price of comfort, make sure you're not overpaying. Don't spend the best years of your life buying safety, when what you really want is significance. Final thought, your comfort zone is not your home. It's just a resting place. But you weren't born to rest forever. You were born to rise, to reach, to expand. So today, stretch, step out, get uncomfortable. Because outside that comfort zone is the life you were born to live. Let's keep going. Speak boldly. Words shape worlds. Let me tell you something that took me years to fully understand. Your words are not just sounds, they are seeds. And every time you speak, you plant. You plant belief. You plant doubt. You plant action or hesitation. You plant direction or confusion. Words shape the way you think. They shape how others see you. And over time, they shape your world. Now here's the truth. Bold people speak boldly. Not recklessly, not arrogantly, but clearly, directly, with intention, with courage.